Hello and welcome to the Prime Desk on S24 Television, live from the capital city, Abuja, bringing you the latest news in Nigeria and around the globe. I am Hadiza Galadima. But first, the headlines. NAPTIP seals maternity home over 13.5 million naira baby sale. Federal government withholds 5 billion naira Abu Dhabi loan details. Aaron Peterson begins appeal against murder conviction. And now, the news in details. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has sealed a suspected illegal maternity facility in Port Harcourt, River State. The arrested three people over an alleged 13.5 million naira baby sales involving a Liberian national residing in Belgium. The agency said the suspects include the owner of the facility, an alleged facilitator of the baby sale, and a member of staff. The facility, located in the Elele area of Port Harcourt, was allegedly operating from a residential apartment. According to NAPTIP's head of press and public relations unit, Vincent Adekoye, the operation was conducted jointly by operatives from Abuja and Rivers State, alongside officials of the Rivers State Ministry of Health. The agency said preliminary investigations showed that the Liberian national arrived in Nigeria without evidence of pregnancy, but allegedly took custody of 3 children within about a month. NAPTIP said intelligence indicated that approximately 13.5 million naira changed hands in connections with the transfer of the 3 children. Investigators are now working to establish the identities, whereabouts, and welfare of the children, as well as to determine their biological and legal parentage. They are also tracking financial transactions linked to the alleged transfers and examining the roles of medical personnel and others who may have facilitated the activity. NAPTIP Director General Binta Bello expressed concern over the alleged involvement of maternity and healthcare facilities in illegal adoption, child sales, and trafficking. She said the agency had expanded its investigation and that anyone found culpable would face the full wrath of the law. The facility was sealed to preserve potential evidence as investigations continue. NAPTIP said the operation forms part of a nationwide crackdown on suspected fraudulent maternity facilities allegedly operating as baby factories. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered the remand of 3 suspects arrested by operatives of the Nigerian Customs Service over an alleged unlawful importation of pump-action rifles into Nigeria. Justice Friday Ogazi ordered that Kenneth Mbonu, Kenneth Agu, and Chioma Onuwa be remanded in custody for 15 days pending the conclusion of investigations. The suspects are to remain in custody until September 1st, 2026, when the case will come up for a report of investigation or possible arraignment. The order followed an application by the Nigerian Customs Service seeking additional time to complete its investigation. According to Customs, the alleged firearms were concealed in a container marked TAMU 184536/9, which arrived Nigeria in aboard MV Velika on July 8, 2026. The agency said officers later examined the container on July 13th and allegedly discovered firearms and ammunition concealed inside. The development follows an earlier court order remanding 2 other suspects, Ejiogu Godson and Rivert Eze, in connection with the same consignment. Customs told the court that investigations were still ongoing and that the suspect could face prosecution if a prima facie case is established. The agency also alleged that information provided by the 3 suspects has helped investigators identify other individuals allegedly involved in the forgery and manipulation of customs records and documents used to facilitate the unlawful removal of the container. Justice Ogazi subsequently ordered that Ombono, Agu, and Onowa remain in the custody of the Nigerian Correctional Services for 15 days. The matter was adjourned to September 1st, 2026 for a report of investigation or possible arraignment. Now moving on, from a young innovator in Katsina to bold farming reforms in Jigawa, the environmental concerns in Texas, we bring you stories of innovation, transformations, and accountability. Olawale Omotego reports.
In Katsina State, where 19-year-old automotive enthusiast Ishak Jamilu has gained international recognition for his innovative electric vehicle design. His concept was featured by the International Art Magazine Japan, praised for affordability and efficiency. Jamilu, who grew up in Kusada, said his passion for automobiles began early through self-learning, online research, and practical work as a mechanic. He explained that his design aims to make electric mobility more affordable while maintaining performance and durability. My ambition is to contribute to the development of affordable, efficiency, and environmentally friendly vehicles, he said. From innovation to agriculture, Jigawa State is taking bold steps to modernize farming. Governor Umar Namadi has launched 60 mechanization hubs across the state, each equipped with 7 tractors, making a total of 420 machines deployed to support farmers. Officials says the initiative will reduce drudgery, expand cultivated land, and boost food security. With over 1,000 staff engaged, the centers are expected to transform rural farming communities and position Jigawa as a hub for mechanized agriculture. Finally, to the United States, where environmental concerns are mounting in El Paso, Texas. Marathon Petroleum's refinery has come under scrutiny after flaring hazardous compounds earlier this month. Residents reported headache and nausea, while officials confirmed emissions of carcinogenic substances beyond permitted level. Gilbert Morales, who lost his wife to lung cancer, told the city council, "How many more loved ones do we have to lose to get this refinery accountable for our health?" Local leaders, including United States Representative Veronica Escobar, are now pressing regulators and Marathon for answers. Officials insist El Pasuans deserve clarity on what they were exposed to and what measures will protect public health going forward. Olawale Omotego, S24 Television.
Business leaders and entrepreneurs are exploring new opportunities for partnership and collaboration, bringing together like-minded professionals for a business retreat. The gathering focused on building strategic relationships, leveraging shared opportunities, and working towards a $1 million project, while also identifying areas for broader local and international collaborations. The reports. Entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals, the message was clear. Growth does not have to be achieved alone. The Political Advantage Group PAG Business Retreat was designed to create a platform where like minded individuals could connect, build relationships, and explore opportunities for collaboration. For the convener, the gathering was born out of a need to move beyond conversations and create practical partnership that can produce measurable results.
I belong to a value chain, and that value chain is people. I'm surrounded by enormous, talented people in diverse sector, men, women, Nigerians that believe in this country, and I just thought, why not come together and collaborate between ourselves, exchange ideas between ourselves, just network, sometimes just to relax, network and talk in a relaxed environment can actually bring a lot of progress. The turnover of business that will come from collaborations among our members is our target. By the end of this retreat, we're hoping to pledge to minimum of $1 million in business collaborations between our members. And this target is a minimum, so we hope to achieve even 10 million if we can.
The retreat's focus was not simply networking, but leveraging individual strength, resources, and connection to achieve a common goal. And with business increasingly crossing geographical boundaries, the gathering also provided an opportunity to explore international partnership.
About global partnership, but also about how you develop those global partnerships. And I'm going to be focusing on young people specifically and young entrepreneurs, and how do we not just mentor young Nigerian entrepreneurs, but we actually partner with them, not just for their business ideas, but actually for their connections as well. They operate digitally in a world that I don't necessarily understand when I first got into business. And what it allows them to do is value their followers and follow the people that follow them and people that they follow, to start thinking about, that's borderless connections with people. How do you then turn that into a business opportunity?
Participants says collaboration can create opportunity that may be difficult for individuals or businesses to achieve alone, from shared resources and expertise to market access and strategic partnership. For Zainab Buba Galadima, the conversation also extends to the Political Advantage Group, PAG, and the areas where the group can strategically pursue opportunities for collaboration and collective impact.
We can partner in different business sectors. For example, I want to get into the property solutions company, and it has a lot to do with litigation. Obviously, I would need a legal practitioner that is very vast, especially in property law. And I would need a surveyor, I would need an architect, an engineer, and all those things. So if there are people that are into that, or that is what their discipline is, I would be able to, it's easier for me because it's like a family. And basically, it's like we've vetted each other. So there's a reputation that everybody carries. So I think that is something we can leverage on to come together and work together and progress together.
At the heart of the retreat is a $1 million project target, an ambition participants hope will demonstrate what can happen when relationships are transformed into action. The organizers say the real measure of the gathering will not be the number of contact exchange, but the partnership that emerge with the project that ultimately takes shape. From networking to collaboration, the organizers believe the next phase is turning these relationships into real opportunities, with the $1 million project target serving as the first test of what collective action can achieve. Hadiza Galadima, S24 Television. The federal government says it will not publish specific details of how it plans to spend funds drawn from its $5 billion financing facility with the First Abu Dhabi Bank. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Tayo Oyedele, made the position known during a media briefing in Abuja, arguing that the transaction has received unnecessary scrutiny. Oyedele said the facility was approved by the National Assembly on March 31st, 2026, and was structured primarily to help the federal government refinance more expensive debts. Nigeria has already drawn about $1.5 billion, representing the first tranche of the financing arrangement. The minister said the government would provide information on how it spends public funds, but questioned why the First Abu Dhabi Bank transaction should receive special treatment compared with other borrowing instruments, including World Bank loans, Eurobonds, and Sukuk. Oyedele also defended the legality of the arrangement, saying it was presented and approved by the National Assembly. He explained that the government was assessing the funds in phases to avoid unnecessary cost from taking money that may not immediately be required. According to the minister, the facility operates on a flexible rate interest structure, meaning Nigeria could pay more if rates rise, but benefits if rates declines. He said the all-in rate was lower than Nigeria's existing debt portfolio and that the principal objective was to refinance more expensive debt and reduce borrowing costs. The arrangement requires Nigeria to pledge securities worth about 133% of the amount drawn as collateral. The International Monetary Fund and Fitch Ratings have previously raised concerns over transparency and sovereign debt risk associated with the financing structure. Oyedele said the Ministry of Finance and the Debt Management Office would publish frequently asked questions to provide further clarifications. And in Health and AIDS Healthcare Foundation official Taufik Adeleye has warned Nigerians against using palm oil, vegetable oil, and other oil-based substances as sexual lubricant, particularly when condoms are being used. Adeleye, who is the senior manager for prevention programs at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, gave the warning in Lagos during a national training of media personnel on HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis organized by the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, and the World Health Organization, WHO. He advised Nigerians to use appropriate lubricants and said water-based lubricants are safer options when condoms are used. He also urged individuals to ensure they use condoms of the appropriate size and take necessary precautions before engaging in intimacy. The health expert specifically cautioned against products such as palm oil, vegetable oil, and other oil-based substances being used as lubricants. He stressed the importance of choosing safer alternatives as part of efforts to reduce exposure to HIV and other sexually related infections. Adeleye also disclosed the use of saliva where a lubricant is unavailable, advising individuals against using saliva from another person. He said personal hygiene and awareness of one's sexual environment are also important components of sexual health and HIV prevention. The training forms part of Nigeria's broader efforts to scale up combination HIV prevention interventions, including PrEP, condom use, HIV testing, and treatment. PrEP is designed to reduce the risk of HIV infection amongst HIV-negative people and may be exposed to the virus. Health authorities and their partners continue to emphasize a combination of approach to HIV prevention while also working to improve access to testing, treatment, and preventive services. The media training was aimed at equipping journalists with accurate information on PrEP and other prevention measures and reducing misinformation and stigma surrounding HIV. The Nigerian Customs Service, Apapa Area Command, has recorded its highest ever single-day revenue collection, generating 28.10 billion naira within 24 hours on Tuesday, August 18, 2026. The command's public relations officer, Isa Suleiman, a chief superintendent of customs, announced the development in a statement issued on Wednesday. He said the new figures surpassed the previous daily record of 20.1 billion naira recorded in September 2025. The latest milestone comes only weeks after the Apapa Area Command achieved another record, collecting 323 billion naira in July 2026, its highest monthly revenue collection. The Customs Service attributed the performance to improved compliance, trade facilitation, intelligence-driven interventions, and greater efficiency in digital custom process. The Custom Area Controller, Emmanuel Osoba, said the latest achievement goes beyond revenue figures, stressing that the funds generated by the service contribute to government resources used to finance public priorities. Osoba said such resources support areas including infrastructure, security, education, and healthcare, while commending the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, and his management team for supporting modernization, automation, and reforms within the service. The Apapa Custom Boss also acknowledged the cooperation of compliant importers, exporters, licensed customs agents, and other stakeholders. He urged officers and men of the command not to become complacent, saying the record should serve as an incentive to improve performance. Osoba stressed that revenue collection must go hand in hand with trade facilitation, professionalism, transparency, and respect for stakeholders. He directed personnel to resolve legitimate disputes promptly and ensure customs procedures do not unnecessarily obstruct lawful businesses. If you're just joining us, you are watching the Prime Desk on S24 television. Stay tuned for our international news coming up after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Two high-profile murder cases are drawing international attention today, with major legal proceedings underway in Australia and the United States. In Australia, convicted murderer Erin Patterson has begun an appeal against her conviction and life sentence over the death of 3 relatives who consumed a meal containing deadly mushrooms. Meanwhile, in the United States, the murder trial of Massachusetts mother Lindsay Clancy continues, with her defense arguing that severe mental health played a role in the death of her 3 children. Mariam Dalhatu reports.
International spotlight today are 2 high-profile murder cases unfolding in Australia and the United States. In Australia, convicted mushroom murderer Erin Peterson has begun her appeal against her convictions and life sentence, while in the United States, the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy continues, with her defense focusing on her mental state at the time of the killings. Convicted Australian murderer Erin Peterson has begun an appeal against her convictions and life sentence over the death of 3 relatives who ate a meal containing deadly death cap mushrooms. Peterson was convicted of murdering Don and Gail Peterson and Heather Wilkinson in 2023. Heather's husband Ian survived after being critically ill. Peterson maintains the poisoning was accidental, while prosecutors argue she deliberately served the toxic meal. Her lawyers are challenging aspects of the original trial, while prosecutors are seeking a harsher sentence, potentially without parole. The Victorian Court of Appeal has reserved its decision. In the United States, the murder trial of Massachusetts mother Lindsay Clancy is continuing. Clancy is accused of killing her 3 children, aged 8 months to 5 years, at their home in Duxbury in 2023. Her defense does not dispute that she caused the death, but argues that she was suffering from severe mental illness, including postpartum psychosis, and should not be held criminally responsible. Prosecutors maintain that the killings were deliberate. The defense is now nearing the end of its case, with closing arguments expected before the jury begins deliberation. 2 cases, 2 countries, and 2 very different legal battles, as Erin Peterson fights to overturn her conviction in Australia, while Lindsay Clancy's defense continues to argue that mental illness played a central role in the death of her 3 children. Both cases remain before the courts, with decisions still to come. Mariam Dalhatu, S24 Television.
Now a break from politics and current affairs as we bring you the latest from the world of entertainment. If you are still watching Prime Decks on S24 television, and now we move to our explainer segment. Beyond the headlines, we provide the facts, context, and key details you need to better understand today's biggest story. Stay tuned.
How safe is a female journalist in today's workspace? Every day, female journalists step out to tell stories that matter. They inform the public, question those in power, and give voice to the voiceless. But many women in journalism simply doing their jobs comes with serious risks. The numbers are alarming. A global study by the UNESCO and International Center for Journalists found that 73% of journalists have experienced online violence because of their work. 1 in 4 receive threats of physical violence, 18% receive threats of sexual violence, and 20 receive abuse they experience online, which later turn to real-life attack. Today, female journalists increasingly targeted by cyberbullying, hate speech, coordinated misinformation campaigns, especially those reporting online politics, corruption, election security, or human rights. Another growing concern is the misuse of artificial intelligence, deepfake videos, manipulated images, and AI-generated content, now being used to spread false information, damage reputation, and undermine the credibility of female journalists faster than ever before. The dangers are not limited to the digital world alone. While covering elections, protests, or conflict, even inside the newsroom, some continue to experience discrimination, sexual harassment, unequal opportunities. These experiences have lasting consequences. According to UNESCO, 30% of female journalists said online abuse led them to self-censor, while 26% reported impact of mental health. When journalists begin to silence themselves out of fear, the public lose access to important stories. So what's the solution? Governments must enforce laws that protect journalists. Media organizations must create safe, inclusive workspaces. Technology companies must act faster against online abuse. Government must enforce laws that protect journalists. Media organizations must create safe workspace. Technology companies must act fast against online abuse, AI-enabled harassment, and the public must continue to defend press freedom. Because protecting female journalists is not about protecting individuals, it's about protecting the truth. When journalists are safe, democracy is stronger. When they are silenced, society is left in the dark.
Now let's join S24's Quiet Liners for a roundup of the biggest entertainment news making waves today.
Making headlines with legal threats, a special honor, and a candid conversation about life choices. Celebrity chef Hilda Bassi has demanded an apology from singer Sheyi Vibes. Nigerian content creator Boss Auntie has had a UK bus stop named after her. While music star Mary J. Blige has opened up about being child-free and dealing with loneliness. Celebrity chef and Guinness World Record holder Hilda Bassi has demanded an apology from singer Sheyi Vibes over alleged defamatory comments. The dispute began after Sheyi Vibes criticized Dapper Music CEO Damilola Akinwumi in a series of posts on X. In one of the now deleted posts, the singer claimed that eating Hilda Bassi's food almost killed him. Hilda's lawyers say the post was viewed millions of times and led to persistent harassment and abusive comments against the chef across social media. Through her lawyers, Hilda is demanding a permanent removal of the post, a public apology, and retraction, as well as an appeal to the singer's fans to stop further harassment. Sheyi Vibes has since reacted to the legal letter on social media, appearing to dismiss the matter. His lawyers have been given 3 days to comply with the demands, failing which Hilda Bassi's legal team says will make them take further actions. Meanwhile, Nigerian content creator, popularly known as Boss Auntie, has received a unique honor in the United Kingdom, with a bus stop named after her. Boss Auntie, who is also a mental health nurse, expressed her excitement and appreciation to Transport for London for the recognition. She became popular online for creating videos around London buses. Her content often gives the impression that she's standing dangerously close to moving buses. But she has explained that the effect is created by camera angles and that she maintains a safe distance. Her distinctive content has earned a growing following and attracted the attention of major brands. The honor comes after years of turning her passion for London buses into a recognizable online identity. She recently also met Nigerian music star Davido during his London tour. And finally, elsewhere, Grammy-winning singer and actress Mary J. Blige has opened up about her decision not to have children, as well as loneliness and healing from painful experiences. Speaking on the Emo podcast, Blige said she also chose to remain child-free after watching family members struggle with childcare and lose some of their freedom. However, she admitted that her feelings have become more mixed with age, particularly as she has seen the close relationship between parents and their teenage children. On loneliness, Blige acknowledged that she sometimes feels alone, but she said she enjoys her own company, listening to music, laughing, and trying on clothes. She also reflected on painful experiences from her past, saying that although some memories still hurt, the lessons have ultimately made her stronger. And that's a wrap on today's entertainment report. From a brewing legal dispute involving Hilda Bassi and Sheyi Vibes to boss antics on usual recognition in London, and Mary J. Blige's honest reflection on motherhood and loneliness, these stories continue to spark conversations across the entertainment world. Line is Squared, S24 Television.
Thanks for staying with us. And now happening in the world of sport, João Cancelo is officially back at Barcelona, while Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones is closing in on a move to Inter Milan. Uduakan Gospower has the reports.
João Cancelo, a familiar chapter at Barcelona, is about to begin again. The Portuguese defender has officially rejoined the Catalan club on a 3-year contract, keeping him at Barcelona until 2029. This will be Cancelo's third spell with the club, following 2 previous loan spells. But this time, the move is permanent. The 32-year-old returns after leaving Saudi Pro League side Al Ahly, and Barcelona have once again turned to his experience and versatility. Cancelo can operate on either side of the defense, giving Barcelona another option as they prepare for the new season. His previous spell at the club produced 42 appearances and 4 goals, and now he gets another opportunity to establish himself at Camp Nou. But while Barcelona are welcoming back a familiar face, Liverpool are preparing to say goodbye to one of their own. Curtis Jones is closing in on a move to Inter Milan, with the Italian club agreeing a deal worth up to 35 million euros. The package includes 30 million euros fixed, another 5 million euros in add-ons, and a 10% sell-on clause for Liverpool. Jones is now expected to travel to Italy, with his medical scheduled for Friday as Inter move closer to completing the deal. For Liverpool, this brings an end to a 16-year relationship with the midfielder. Jones joined the club academy at just 9 years old and progressed through the ranks before becoming a first-team player. He went on to make more than 200 senior appearances for Liverpool, winning major honours along the way, including the Premier League and FA Cup. But with Jones entering the final year of his contract, the competition for places increasing, Liverpool have decided to cash in rather than risk losing him for nothing next summer. For Inter, the move brings in a midfielder with Premier League and European experience, while Jones gets the chance to start a completely new chapter in Serie A. So, Barcelona have brought back João Cancelo, while Curtis Jones is preparing to leave Liverpool for Milan. 2 different transfer stories, but both players are heading into new chapters at clubs with big ambitions. For Cancelo, it is a return. For Jones, it is a new beginning. Udokan Gotspar, reporting for S24 Television.
This brings us to the end of the Prime Desk on X24 television. But before we go, a quick recap of the top stories. NAPTIL seals a maternity home in Port Harcourt and arrests 3 over an alleged 13.5 million naira baby sale. The federal government says it will not publish details of how it plans to spend its $5 billion Abu Dhabi financing facility. Australian woman Erin Peterson has begun her appeal against her murder conviction over the death of 3 family members. Join us tomorrow, same time, and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Hadiza Galadima. Bye for now.